do a review of what we are supposed to go through. Last time when we were together, we were discussing the people of pre-colonial Uganda, and we centered on some few tribes. And about the tribes we centered on, we discussed the Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom or Empire. Yes. But that was not the first or the last. That was just, I think this is the slide. These are the slides that we used. So I'm not going to take a lot of time going through this because this is not what we're supposed to do. We have other things. So some of the ground rules, no videos. You shouldn't put on your videos. If you have your video on, please turn it off because it makes us drop off the call. Those videos are heavy. And yes, the other thing, we only unmute our microphones when we are giving answers. If you're not giving an answer, if you've not been picked to give an answer, keep your microphone muted. How do we give answers? You raise hand and the teacher calls your name, and after calling your name, you unmute your microphone, you give an answer, you mute again. So those are the few ground rules that we are going to use. Okay, so I sent this already. All of you who attended the previous lessons, you have this. You have these notes, but I am going to go through them just for the sake of those who did not attend, and I'm not going to take a lot of time there. Yes. So we started by looking at people who came to Uganda. We looked at the Nile Hamites. But before we looked at those ones, we had looked at the Bantu earlier. We looked at where they settled, their economic activities, where they are right now. The tribes under Nile Hamites, the Itesots, the Kalimojongs, the Kumam, Dadoth, Tepeth, and Pokot, all of them. Reasons for their migrations, results of their migration, what happened when they settled where they settled. We looked at the Hamites, and we found out where they are right now and why did they choose to settle where they settled. We looked at their economic activity as cattle rearing and growing of some crops. Then tribes under the Hamites, causes of their migration. Then this is where we started looking at the political organization of pre-colonial societies in Uganda. We defined what pre-colonial means. We say this was the period before Uganda was taken over by the British as its co-territory. So majority of the people came from surrounding countries like Rwanda. Then some others came from India. So how they were organized in kingdoms, chiefdoms, and clans. So how did they rule themselves before the coming of Uganda? Still in the same ways. Why is it not right to say that those governments didn't have? Please, people who are in the chat, please, let's focus and we use our time very well. There is a question, why is it not right to say that there were no governments before the coming of Europeans? Because these people had kingdoms, had chiefdoms, had clans that worked as governments. So we went ahead and defined kingdoms, chiefdoms, and even empires. So under the empires, we looked at the Bunyoro Kitara Empire and its contribution, social, political, and all others. So later, at the end of the day, we talked about titles of leaders in different parts of the country. So let us get into our chart and we discuss in our chart at the end. Let's just discuss. Let's everybody type what you remember about Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom as we get into something new. Let's use the chat very well. Type what you remember about Bunyoro Kitara Empire before we introduce what we are going to study about today. Type whatever you remember about Bunyoro Kitara Empire in the chat. I cannot see answers. Thank you, Austin. Very good answer. Sharon, put those symbols that you learned. Thank you, Elion. Nasha. Good answers. Are they over? Okay. You need to keep Thank you, whoever's given the answers. So we get to start. There was pre-colonial. It was the earliest pre-colonial. Good answers. The last king of the Baches was Wamala. Thank you, Nasha. Thank you, Joanna. Yes. So let's get to start. As I told you, my name is Teacher Jonah. I am a teacher of SST and English language. In case you have never seen me, if you are attending for the very first time, you need to know the person speaking behind your screen, behind your microphone, and that's me. I hope you can see me very well. So I'm going to turn off the video so that you can just hear the voice. I believe you will have a good time learning with us. Yes. Ncha had 4 sons. It was too large to be ruled by one king. The last king was Isaza. Thank you, whoever has given the answers. So today we are going to talk about the Buganda Kingdom. Buganda Kingdom. So, what do we know about Buganda Kingdom? What do we know about Buganda Kingdom? Put in the chat whatever you know about Buganda Kingdom. Put in the chat whatever you know about Buganda Kingdom.
Start.
You type whatever you know about Buganda Kingdom. We are discussing Buganda Kingdom after discussing yes. Largest ethnic group, Nasha, largest ethnic group, largest kingdom, ruled by one king, okay. This is Joshua, largest tribe. Their king is called Kavaka, very good. It broke away from Bunyoro Kitara, very good. The king is called Kavaka, very good. Sharom Babirie, Buyenza, Alia, good. Yes, you have good ideas about Buganda Kingdom. Is it the largest? Certainly not. It's not the largest. But why is it that it is very, very common? We shall find out. The king is called Kavaka. You've got that. So let's just look at some of the things about, some of the facts about Buganda Kingdom. One, Buganda Kingdom started as a very small kingdom. Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Lynette. Very good answers. So let's get to this. Let's get to this. Let's get to this.
Why don't you get a paper and you write?
Buganda Kingdom started as a very small kingdom on the northern shores of Lake Victoria. If you look at Buganda Kingdom and where it is situated, it is located on the shores of Lake Victoria in the northern region, the northern shores of Lake Victoria. So Buganda touches Lake Victoria. That is one of the reasons as to why they have had expansion at a higher rate. So we shall find out why. So Buganda Kingdom started as a very small kingdom on the shores, on the northern shores of Lake Victoria. So like someone put it, it broke away from the Bunyoro Kitara Empire. So remember when we are discussing the Bunyoro Kitara Empire, we said that Bunyoro Kitara Empire occupied the entire Inter-Castrian region, even entering the regions of Tanzania, entering some parts of Kenya, and so it was a very, very huge empire. So many of these kingdoms broke away from the Bunyoro Kitara Empire. So the other thing that we have to note, it was surrounded by forests and people who practiced agriculture. People who are in Buganda, people who are surrounding Buganda, particularly practiced agriculture. According to the legends, it is believed that the founder of Buganda Kingdom was
Kato Kimera.
Kato Kimera, who is a twin brother of Uh, Ethan, what is this that you want? Okay. So that is one of the legends. So then other legends, like someone said, put it that the founder of Buganda was Chintu, who is also believed to have been the first Muganda. So it depends. People in Buganda believe that Chintu was the founder of Buganda Kingdom. People from outside Uganda, people from Bunyoro believe it was Kato Chimera, whose brother remained there, Isingoma, remained that side of Bunyoro. So it depends on what you believe, and I don't think it really matters, because now Buganda Kingdom is here, and it is strong, as you have been saying. So who started it? I don't think it is that so important. And your hand is up. May we get to know what you are concerned about? Yes, Anyu? Patricia, unmute and you speak. Okay. So those are the few facts that we know about Buganda Kingdom. We know about the few, because Buganda had a few counties, but they went on invading other places and enlarging. That's how they became a very, very strong kingdom. So factors that led to the growth of Buganda Kingdom. Factors that led to the growth of Buganda Kingdom. Put in the chat. And your hand is up again. What do you have to say?
Teacher, were they twins with Nsingoma Rukidi Mpuga?
Yes, that I said it earlier, that he was a twin brother with Isingoma, who remained in Bunyoro. Yes, Austin?
The coming of Europeans.
The coming of Europeans. I want you to type the answers. When we say them, we limit others. Please type the factors that you think led to the growth of Uganda Kingdom. Right now, Uganda Kingdom is still existing. They can date back in the 15th century, the 16th century, they were there. Most especially the 16th century. The 17th century, Buganda Kingdom was so strong. When I speak of 17th century, I mean 1700. This is 2021. I'm speaking about 1701. That year, those years, they were a very, very strong kingdom. What else do we know about Buganda Kingdom? The factors that helped them to become a strong kingdom or to grow. People are speaking, Buyinza, good. Nasha, very good. Eldon, good. Buyinza, still good answers. Yes, those are very good answers. I appreciate. Strong army, good. Those are good answers. Patricia, good. They had strong leaders. Good. Okay. So, Nabagereka, good. Elizabeth, good. Rather, Lynette, good. Stuart, good. Okay. So let's summarize your ideas here. Austin, let's summarize your ideas here. All your ideas are brilliant. One, Buganda Kingdom had a strong leader. All their leaders were strong throughout those times. What I want you to remember, or what you have to know, to keep in your mind, is that by that time, there was nothing like buying land. You couldn't buy land. If you wanted land, you would go and fight with the owner of the land. If you defeat the owner of the land, you take the land. If the owner of the land defeats you, he takes your land. That's how these kingdoms rose and grew into power. They used to fight. It depended on the leader. The leader who would fight very well would grow, would enlarge the borders, the boundaries of his kingdom. So it happened that Buganda had serious, tough leaders, strong leaders by that time. From the 17th century till modern times, Buganda has had several strong leaders. And these leaders could go with their armies in another place and they conquer it. Because if you go to Singo, the county called Singo, here in Chiboga, the areas of Chiboga, Mitiana, and Chankwanzi. Chankwanzi is in the Buganda Kingdom. You would hear names of places that are not originally Buganda names, like Rwamata. You find a place is called Rwamata. That means the place was not originally Buganda, but they conquered it. They conquered that place, Bushunju, like that. Such places were not originally for Buganda, but they conquered those places and they became part of Buganda, the modern Buganda right now. So strong leaders contributed a lot. Strong leaders contributed a lot. When we are explaining, I beg that we focus because I give you time to type, because I don't believe you can be typing as well as listening very well attentively. So you need to listen, and then when time for typing comes, you type like that. Yes, Anyu, you have a hand up. What do you want to say?
Excuse me, teacher, what about Mawokota?
Mawokota. Yes. In Buganda had three counties in the beginning. Three counties. I don't remember them very well. I think in our next lesson, I will bring them to you. But that's what I remember very well. Buganda had 3 counties, but it grew to over 26 counties. 26 from 3. So that means they captured 23 other counties. I believe Chadon was one of them. I will bring the statistics when we meet again. But that shows you how powerful Buganda Kingdom was by that time. They had 3 counties. They went on and captured 23 others to make 26 counties. I believe they have 26 counties. Yes, there was someone else. Yes, Mubiru.
Rugangiz County.
Bugangaizi looks, sounds so Bunyoro. I don't know. County, which I will come with the facts. I don't want to give you half-baked facts. So don't mind, I'll come with the facts. We shall discuss them here next time. So that one is a key thing. Number 2, strong leaders made strong armies. So the strength of the army would escalate to the neighboring areas and they would capture the neighboring areas. And when you capture a place, they used to take the men of that place as slaves. The ladies, their cows, their children would become theirs and they would install a leader there. So that's how Buganda Kingdom rose into power, grew. Then the Baganda traded with Arabs and they got those unique items. I believe Baganda got guns before any other society in Uganda. So they got guns and gunpowder, so they would go and use these guns to capture others. As their counterparts, their enemies, were using bows and arrows and spears, the Baganda had advanced to the use of guns and other sophisticated weapons. So their trade with the Arabs made them a very, very powerful kingdom. Okay, and then it had plenty of food. Buganda is strategically located. Even up now, Buganda has got fertile soils. I think right now, okay, parts of Western Uganda are fertile because Buganda here, people have cultivated a lot and it is losing fertility. But those days, Buganda had the soil that was so fertile. And because the soil was so fertile, they used to grow a lot of food. When you have a lot of food, that means you are strong. By that time, food was a key issue. And then the coming of Europeans, when the Europeans came, they were so interested in Buganda. They came and settled here before they went to any other region. So that made them very powerful. And the Europeans came with guns, they came with weapons that were better than the traditional weapons. So let's look at the advantages of kingdoms. What are some of the advantages of kingdoms that you know? What do these kingdoms add to us?
They promote you.
Let's type so that we can have different answers and different views from different people. Yes. Very good, Nasha. Thank you, Alia, Wienza. Thank you, Abigail and Jovian. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Katana. Unity, you have to add letter Y to make it unity. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you, Nasha. Thank you, Vanessa. Very good answers. Gift and Mercy, good. Stuart, good. So Stuart will have to explain to us how they promote security. Stuart, can you hear me? Unmute your microphone and tell us how the kingdoms promote security. Yes? Sidin Redemptor, good answer. Yes, Stuart. Buyinza, I don't know whether dictatorship is good because we are discussing advantages. Advantages mean good things. I know that dictatorship is so good, you love it, promote peace. So, thank you whoever has given answers. We can summarize them into 2 or 3. Thank you. Thank you, Anyu, Shamadi. Good. We can summarize them into 2 or 3 basic ones. They promote peace and security, or rather peace and unity. That's a very strong point. These kingdoms, you see, whenever there is something going on, the kings of different areas can stand up and call on people not to demonstrate, not to involve in things that can lead to death. They tell people, please don't do this, please, please. So you will find that the king of Buganda is telling the subjects, don't do this. You go to Bugwere, the Ikumbanya is also saying the same. The Kwadora of Japdora can say the same. The king of Bunyoro. So you will find that there is peace. And then they promote culture. Kingdoms promote culture. Without kingdoms, our culture can just fade. The United kingdom, the British. Their kingdom has been there for over 1,000 years. Over 1,000 years, and their culture is preserved and promoted. This is why even up to now, we are in Uganda, Buganda, about 10,000 kilometers away from, not even 10,000, it can be beyond, maybe 20 or 30,000 kilometers away from United Kingdom, but we are speaking English, which is their language. So kingdoms promote culture. We behave as though we are in Britain. So kingdoms, because of those kingdoms, they mobilize people for development. Kings are always calling upon their subjects to work hard. You can see the king of Buganda is always emphasizing, please go for immunization, go for this, go for that, go for this. So they are very good for mobilization. Very good when it comes to mobilization. So that is all we can speak about Buganda Kingdom. Let's look at some of the disadvantages for kingdoms. Disadvantages for kingdoms. Our time. I would give you a lot of time to discuss, but our time is fast spent. Disadvantages. Like someone put it, they promote dictatorship. Yes, one king, until the king dies, you cannot have another king. That is real dictatorship. You cannot have another king. Shantai needs the work for the previous week. I am going to put it in the WhatsApp group, but later, not now, because right now I am going for P6, and immediately after P6, I have a meeting. So it will be later in the afternoon, not immediately after the lesson. I'll put. So some of the disadvantages, they promote dictatorship. One leader until when he or she dies. They promote the interests of the minority. There are things you cannot say because the Kabaka has said, because the king has said. They promote interests of the minority. Thank you, Austin. Now, these are some of the questions that you need to look at in your free time, and you'll send us the answers. Some of the questions that you need to look at: which language is spoken in Buganda? Identify any two similarities between Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom Empire and Buganda Kingdom. What are some of the few things that they have in common? How are the Baganda related to the Cameroon Highlands? So you also need to deal with those few other things. They promote tribalism. Those are beautiful answers. Tribalism is when you tend to treasure one tribe more than others. So if we didn't have tribes, then we would not have tribalism. But because we have very many tribes, therefore we have tribalism, tribals and stuff like that. So thank you so much, whoever has contributed about Buganda. Now let's focus on something else. Let's get to Ankole Kingdom. I understand there are people here who come from Ankole. You are most welcome. We are dissecting your kingdom, which is no longer in existence. By the way, the Ankole Kingdom is no longer in existence. It was put at hold until further notice. But when we talk about the pre-colonial Uganda, one of the kingdoms that was strong was the Ankole Kingdom. That's why we are talking about it now. We are not talking about kingdoms that are currently in Uganda. Shalom and the rest. Okay, we are extracting. Let me see that Pascal is still on the chat. Pascal is not here. Okay, maybe we'll watch. We are extracting numbers for those people who attend lessons, because we have very many people who are in the WhatsApp group, but we don't know those ones who attend lessons regularly. So if you are on this call, please write your contact, your parent's contact in the chat. Our team will extract that data to contact you after this lesson, because we are looking at how we are going to be working after the end of the coming week. So just put your number, your telephone number, parent's telephone number, because in P5 you are not allowed to have a phone. Parent's phone number in the WhatsApp, here in the chat, so that our team can extract it. Yes, thank you, Abigail. Thank you, Sharon. Sharon, let me even send you the, okay. Let me just put it here. Thank you, Nasha. Austin, you don't know. That is so unfortunate. Thank you, those of you who are putting numbers. Thank you, Ethan. Ethan, you have sent it privately. I need to extract it. For 40, 44, 44, 7, 7, 2, 88, 26, 88. Thank you, Mercy and Gift. Thank you, Elon. Thank you, Innocent. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Anyu, Joanna, Buyinza, Vanessa, Shantai. Thank you so much. We need to know, the reason as why we are getting your numbers is because we want to contact you, because for you attend. Others on the group are there, but they don't come for lessons. So we want these ones who come for the lessons, you who come for the lessons. Yes, Lynette, thank you. Yes. Thank you, Abigail and Jovian. Okay. Thank you, Katana. Thank you. Thank you, Buyinza. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you who have contributed by helping us with the contacts of your parents. We needed them. And we are going to use them profitably. Thank you. So let's get to Bunyoro, to Ankole Kingdom. Our time is fast spent. This kingdom was founded in the southwestern Uganda, southwestern Uganda. The other day we were talking about those kingdoms in southwestern Uganda, those tribes in southwestern Uganda. It traces its origin during the period of the Batembuzi. The Batembuzi were the first dynasty to rule the Bunyoro Kitara Empire, and then they were later replaced by the Bachwezi. The Bachwezi were later replaced by the Luo Babito dynasty. So the British colonialists combined other kings together to form Ankole Kingdom. So they amalgamated, they brought together different kings, and they formed the Ankole Kingdom. Some of the kingdoms they brought together were the Mpororo. They brought together the Mpororo, the Buhwenji, and the Igala. They combined 3 kingdoms to form the Ankole kingdom. It then got its new name of Ankole. So before the coming of the British colonialists, there was nothing like Ankole kingdom. When the British came, they got the Empororo, the Buhenji, and the Igara, and made a kingdom out of them. Okay? So that is how it happened. Then its king was called Omugabe. The Omugabe had absolute authority. Absolute, like I can say it, absolute. This is why the Ankole kingdom is no longer in existence. They could kill at any time. They could do dubious things because they had absolute authority over their subjects. Yes, let me hear from Princess Diana. You want to say something? Princess Diana, unmute your microphone and you speak. Sorry?
Absolute. What does absolute mean?
Absolute. That means excessive. Something that is extreme. Okay? Something that is extreme. It is excessive. So that is the kind of authority they had. They would order for the killing of anyone. There is a king, a certain Omugabe, I don't remember his name. His spear would move, would be carried by people putting it on their feet, the pointing side. So that's how absolute, how they had the authority over their subjects. So that is the Ankole kingdom. This is why many people from Ankole do not want to have a kingdom again, because they tested what it means to have a king with absolute authority. So let's get to Toro Kingdom. Linet is here. He is a product of Toro Kingdom. Toro Kingdom is one of the kingdoms that broke away from Bunyoro Kitara Empire or Kingdom. So Toro Kingdom was founded by Prince Kaboyo in 1830. That's about 200 years ago. Kaboyo was the eldest son of the Omukama, Chebamba Nyamtukura of Bunyoro. Chebamba Nyamtukura of Bunyoro. Yes, Austin.
Kaboyo was the eldest son of Omukama Kasagama.
No. Omukama Kasagama, no. Thank you for that, but Kaboyo was not a son of Kasagama. Kaboyo was a son of Omukama Chebambe Nyamtukura. Okay? Then the successor was Kasagama. The successor of Omukama Chebambe Nyamtukura was Kasagama. Okay? The Omukama Kabalega was not satisfied, was not happy with that. So do you know what Omukama Kabalega did? He went and he recolonized Toro Kingdom. He went and recolonized Toro Kingdom. He made it his once again. So what he did, after making it his, the Batoro were not anywhere. So Omukama Kasagama ran and hid in Buganda. He went and hid in Buganda because they had overthrown him. When they had overthrown Omukama Kasagama, he took refuge in Buganda and waited I hear I am breaking. I don't know, maybe the network problem. So Omukama Kasagama took over and hid. There was Omukama Kabalega from Bunyoro attacking Omukama Kasagama. Omukama Kasagama was the successor of Kaboyo, Prince Kaboyo, who established the Toro Kingdom. So when he took cover, he went and hid. They fought and fought and fought and fought. So as I've told you, Kasagama came to Buganda. He hid from here and he waited. So there came Captain Lugadi, Frederick Lugadi. When Captain Frederick Lugadi came, Omukama Kasagama welcomed him. We want to find out why did Omukama Kasagama welcome Captain Lugadi. One of the reasons, he wanted protection from his enemies. He wanted to be restored back to his kingdom. Yes, you have that right. So he wanted to be restored back to his throne. Remember, by the time Captain Lugadi came, this man was overthrown. He had been overthrown by Omukama Kabalega of Bunyoro, and he had taken cover in Buganda. So he wanted to be restored to his throne. He wanted protection against his enemies, and his first enemy was Omukama Kabalega of Bunyoro Kingdom. So how did Omukama Kasagama benefit from the coming of Captain Frederick? One, he restored him to his throne. He made him the king of Toro again. That is the beauty of it. And then he got protection against Omukama Kabarega. This Frederick Lugadi went there and camped there and provided protection for Omukama Kasagama against Kabarega. Against Kabarega. So, those are the few things we can speak about the Toro Kingdom, and those are the things they ask about Toro Kingdoms particularly. Then he drove Kabarega out of Toro. It is Omukama, it is Frederick Lugadi who drove Kabarega out of Toro Kingdom. Yes, Anyu.
The spelling of Toro.
The spelling of Toro. I think it is O-O. We made a mistake here. There is a little bit of confusion. Some people write it as O, single O, others write it as O-O, but for me, I chose to take the one of O-O. So it is only here where it has a problem. You need to correct that when you are putting in your books. Okay, so chiefdoms. Chiefdoms were ruled by, these were areas ruled by chiefs. We talked about that. And one of the chiefdoms we have was or is the Busoga chiefdom. And even their rule never made a kingdom, they made a chiefdom. It is located in the southeastern Uganda, east of Lake Victoria or Victoria Nile. East of Victoria Nile River, you know that part of Victoria, from Choga to Albert. I think from Choga to Albert. Is it from Choga to Albert? Victoria Nile. Let me just get my map here. My map here. The Victoria Nile. No, there is Albert Nile, Victoria Nile, and even the White Nile, the Blue Nile. You'll study about all those. And yes, the Victoria Nile is between Lake Choga and Lake Albert. So that's where the Busoga chiefdom was established. So the title given to the chief of Busoga was Chabazinga. And we cannot talk about Busoga Kingdom without talking about Kadubura Wilberforce, one of the Chabazingas who reigned over Busoga in the earlier days. He was the chairperson of Busoga at the time of Uganda's independence in 1962. He mobilized his people to support the struggle for independence. So in case they ask you, why is Kadumbura Wilberforce remembered? He mobilized the people to support independence in 1960s, before the independence. So he later became Uganda's first vice president. Yeah, so those are the few things we can talk about Kadumbura, who was the chief of Busoga King Chiefdom. Our time is fast spent. We are remaining with no minute. So I have prepared for you the social organizations of pre-colonial people. They are there. You need to read in your free time, and even the development of economic organization of pre-colonial people. You need to get time and read through and understand each one of them. So I want to remind you of Yaaka. The free lessons are coming to an end very soon. Consider subscribing. Consider telling your parents to subscribe so that you can enjoy this engagement on a daily basis, 24/7, and a more customized one. This one is not so customized because we don't get to know who is going to attend the lesson and who is not going to attend. But if we get to know that you're going to attend the lesson, we can prepare for you better. So a more customized lessons are there for you if you subscribe. Yes, Anyu, you want to say something before we end this meeting? Yes, Anyu. Yes, Buyinza. Alia.
Excuse me, teacher, are you going to send the work?
Yes, I started by saying that I'm going to share with you this work, though not today, rather not now, because immediately after this lesson, I have P6. So I will share with you this work, not now, but later.
Okay, teacher.
So, yes, again. Yes, please. Okay, I'm going to share this work, even the previous one, because there are people who need even the previous lessons. I'm going to share all of them, two files, so you will have them. Okay, have a wonderful morning. Enjoy your day. Please do the work, read, research, stay at home, pray to God. Those are the key principles that will help us. Rania, bye-bye. Bye-bye, all of you. Bye-bye, bye-bye. See you next week.